muscle the customer into making a buying decision, often down here. You can overwhelm the customer. Like I said, you've got a lot of presence. The customer doesn't want to deal with it. They decide, okay, whatever, I'm just going to buy because they want you to leave, and they buy. Now, problem is that when you leave, you're out of sight, out of mind, and you are no longer able to apply that pressure anymore. And because you're no longer able to apply that pressure, they self-reflect and realize, hey, like, look at what we bought. Like, why did we do this? They don't like you, and they think they're kind of bitter towards you. That guy was here, he pressured us. We paid way too much for what we got. Consequently, they decide to cancel, and you're not there to do anything about it. So the alpha, because of this, tends to get a lot of cancels. The next one is the best friend. The best friend is someone that you're very likable. You're able to build rapport very quickly. The customer enjoys the sales process probably more than you do. They're having a great time. They invite you out to their wedding 3 years down the road. You guys are going out for drinks. And what happens is they like you so much that they're often willing to overlook the fact that they're getting less than what they're paying for. They're enjoying the moment so much. They like the feeling of the sale. They like you, so they overlook that they're not getting a good deal. In fact, they might know they're getting a bad deal, and they buy down here anyway. And what happens is when you're gone, again, out of sight, out of mind, they self-reflect on what they did, and they say, like, what did we do? The vibe, the positive feelings have now dissipated, so they can sit there and say, like, what did we do? Why did we do this? I can't believe I did it. And furthermore, they look at this and say, that person wasn't our friend. Like, they don't care about us. Look at what they did to us. And because of that, when you, as the best friend, usually follow up with the customer, and when you follow up and find out what's going on, the client might be kind of standoffish. They're not as happy to talk to you anymore. And you end up pretty confused. You start to doubt the product and service that you have, and you start to doubt yourself. So you might take a bit of a self-esteem hit. You're wondering, hey, like, does anyone really like me at all? And because of that, you take a self-esteem hit, which is even worse in the long run. It's going to affect your subsequent sales going forward. So I just want to stress that, yes, people like you. They like you so much that they're willing to do this. So it's not that they don't like you, it's that they like you a lot. And again, when I'm done this, I'll kind of go over something you can do to try and rectify the problem. The third one is the beggar. I think we all have a little bit of plea in us at one point or another. We can all kind of tend to beg when we're desperate for the sale, especially when we're getting close to the close. When we're almost there, we kind of start to get desperate. And what the beggar does is focuses in on price. Remember at the beginning I said the one problem that people have is they sort of zero in on either price or value. Well, the beggar zeroes in on price, and they just keep giving it away. They just keep dropping it. So first of all, for obvious reasons, the whole reason you're there is to secure this. You don't want to be throwing away your money. It's not about the sale, it's about your revenue. Otherwise, what's the point of doing sales at all? So when you do this, you're defeating the purpose altogether, and furthermore, you make yourself look desperate. So as you drive the price down, you can actually get to this point here, and you're below the value mark. Like, your price is below value, so you would actually technically be in this zone. So why then do customers tend to cancel? It's because as you drive the price down, you make yourself look desperate, but not just yourself, you make your product or proposal look desperate. So the customer, again, kind of reflects on what's going on, and they think, hey, if this guy's willing to keep dropping the price, it must not be as valuable as I thought it was. So as you drive price down, you actually end up driving the value down, and you end up bringing the value down here and end up in this zone. And often when the customer cancels, it's just because they have, when it comes to the beggar, they have no value for the product or proposal you gave them. Even though they got the best deal they would ever get for that product or whatever it might be, they're still unhappy because they just have no value for it. So keep that in mind. When you drive the price down, when you're negotiating is different than begging, by the way. But even when you're negotiating, if you keep driving the price down, you're going to also drive down the value. So watch out for that. So what can you do? So with these three things, what you want to do is you do not want to leverage them in order to make the sale. You don't want to actually utilize these, I'm going to call them blessings. I don't know if the bagger would be a blessing, negotiating is, but you don't want to utilize these characteristic traits and lean on them entirely in order to close your sales. What you want to do is you want to build the value logically and make sure your customer feels like the value is above the price point before you leave. So you want to ask them questions, make sure they're happy, and make sure they actually think on a logical level that it's a good deal. So talk about the features and benefits and so forth. You might be thinking, well, logic, that doesn't make sense because we're all taught that customers will make emotional decisions. We all make decisions based off emotion, which is true. However, these are logical metrics, they're logical gauges, and we self-reflect on these to make an emotional decision. So for example, if you went into the